I was just going over this old story about the first time I got robbed with the homie, right? And it was crazy, man. Just the whole situation, the way that it worked. You know what I mean? I mean, it was honestly like a Three Stooges skit almost, like on some Three Stooges type time. You know what I mean? Like you got to understand, like right now I'm in the hood, right? So I was in the hood at that time. This is like 2010, right? At that point in time, I think I had a job somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where I was working at that time, but I was 19 and I was probably working some little part-time gig back then. And I used to hit this certain spot up to get weed, you know what I mean? Every day I would go slide through the spot. Well, not every day, but on a regular basis, I go through there to get some bud before I go to work. Because I think I was at a hotel job or something. Yeah, because during that time, man, I remember I was working with this Jamaican cat. He was like a chef, and he impressed the hell out of me, man. Once he found out that I had that I smoked bud, he really connected with me because I think say for example when you're in the actual it was a hotel. We have a like in the kitchen, so I'm working in the kitchen at a hotel. You know what I mean? And I'm smoking bud. I'm 19. I'm smoking bud. You know what I mean? And at that point, I think that's when like the real exotic weed was starting to hit, but it didn't really hit like that. The security chick that worked in the building with us, it was like from 3 o'clock in the evening to 11 at night. The chick that did security, she was like a girl from the LGBT community. She was real cool, and she had to connect with the real good weed, the exotic weed back then, man. And I smelled her one day, and I'm like, yo, you got some good weed. You smell like some good weed. What is that? She was like, yo, my homeboy got it. I just bought an eighth. He just left. I just blazed one. And I was like, yo, buy me, can you tell him to swing back through? You know what I mean? And he did. He swung back through. He dropped off an eighth to me. And I had him like, I stuck it in like a pair of pants or something, or in a backpack, and I stuck it in the locker in the break room. So the whole break room is funky. Like the eighth is funking up the whole break room. But it's like maybe, it's like 10:15 at night. So it's no managers or anything like that. It's just me, the Jamaican dude, and a security chick. You know what I mean? And like a little line cook guy. You know what I mean? So the dude, his name was Lion. He was like a real light-skinned dude with green eyes, with long dreads that touched the floor. Lion went into the break room. I'm in the kitchen chilling. He come out there and he's walking real fast, looking at me like, damn. And I'm like, looking at him. He like, yo, what the fuck? It's come in the break room. And I'm like, what's up? And he's like, yo, come in the break room. And I come in there and he's like, yo, you smell that? And I'm like, oh, shit, that's my bag, man. And he's like, yo, young buck, you know what I mean? You better hurry up and get that out here before somebody important come through. And then, I stashed it in a better spot. He gave me a better seat. He hooked me up with a stash spot. And after that, he was like, yo, you got some Dutches. We were smoking Dutches back then. And I was like, oh, some papers. I said, nah, I ain't got none of that. You know what I mean? And then he was like, my plan was to hit this. It was like a store right next door. So I hadn't had the time to go get something to roll up in, right? So he was like, yo, when I was in the military, I used to smoke out of apples. And I'm like, smoke out of apples? And he said, well, hold on a second. He got a salt shaker, a Granny Smith green apple, and he got maybe one other piece of equipment from the kitchen. And he created a bong through the apple, and we hit the roof, and we was blazing. I mean, that blew my mind, man. I'm like, yo, this dude just made a bong out of an apple, and it hit real smooth. You know what I mean? And so that had absolutely nothing to do with the robbery, though. So, I'm smoking. I'm 19. I'm into weed. I'm smoking my weed. You know what I mean? And, my coworkers are smoking my weed with me while I'm there on the roof. So every day I'm scooping up bud before I go to work because that's what we do. We blaze. You know what I mean? Especially at that point in time. So I'm scooping up a bag and I'm going to the homie. A dude, he lives in my sister's neighborhood. That's how I met him. He's like literally 3 doors down from my sister. You know what I mean? In the hood, but a hood that my sister's been living in for a few years. So I'm established in that hood. Everybody know me. Everybody know her brothers. My nephews and nieces, they're part of the community. They go to the schools in the community. Because you got to understand this part of town. I didn't go to schools in these part of towns. I mean, it's in my part of town, this area, but it's not the part of town of my part of town, if you follow my drift. So all of these cats in this area, they went to other schools. They didn't go to the same schools as I, so I don't really know them like that. but I'm established because my sister is established. You know what I mean? So, I'm scooping up the weed one day, wearing my uniform, and this dude, I'm in the house, and I'm like, yo, let me get the sack. You know what I mean? And this dude is after I get the sack, and all I spent was like $5. I got $5 worth of weed. I think I got some. It was some mid, man. Back then we was still smoking the mid grade. So the dude had some really decent mid grade bud. So I only spent $5. I mean, I'm 19. I'm spending $5. That's what you do when you're young, right? So I get a $5 sack, man, and he looks out and he gives me like a $15 sack for $5. But basically, I spent $5 on some weed, trying to get my smoke on any way I can. I'm young, you know what I mean. And while I'm leaving the house after I get the weed, a dude that was sitting on a sofa playing a game was like, "Yo, you about to go to work?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Who are you?" And he was like, "That's my cousin, the dude who sold me the weed. I'm his cousin." And I'm like, "All right." And he's like, "Yo, you think you can drop me off at such and such?" Right now, that's on your way to work. Which way you go to work? And I told him the route I take. And he said, "Can you drop me off right here?" And I'm like, "All right, I'll take you right there." I'm thinking that this is the homie's cousin. And I know the homie because the homie is the neighbor of my sister, and he sells me weed every day. And dude gets in the car with me, right? And then I'm riding just like I'm riding right now. And then I'm just like, "Yo, where you want me to take you to?" And then he pulls out a big 357, dog. I look and I'm like, "Oh shit." He pulls it out and he's like, "I'm not gonna hit you, bro. I'm not gonna hit you, man." And I'm like, "I hope not." All I got is a $5 sack, man. I hope you're not gonna try to kill me over a $5 bag of weed. And I had on some Versace's. I had on some nice Versace's, man. That was the style back then. I had some nice Versace frames on, because I wear glasses, of course. And he snatches the Versace's off because he's thinking that because back then guys would wear Versace's even if they didn't need them. It was just eye fashion. And even if they didn't have prescription in the lenses, they would wear them for fashion. So I guess he thought that I was wearing these Versace's for fashion. So he pulls the gun out, puts it to my side. "I'm not going to hit you." You know what I mean? He tells me that, and I'm driving, and he snatches my glasses off real smooth. And I'm like, "Bro, I can't see. I can't see. I'm a wreck. I need those glasses." And he's like, "What do you want me to do?" I'm like, "Give me my glasses back, man. I can't see." He puts them back on me, and then he takes them back off. He's like, "No, you lying to me, man. You lying to me." And I'm like, "Dog, I can't see, man." And I'm driving, and he got the 357 pointed to my rib, and he takes them off again. So he takes them off like 3 times, puts them back on 3 times. And he's digging through my pockets, right? I got a wallet in my back pocket, but I'm wearing I think I was a steward. So I'm wearing chef's pants, kitchen pants. They're real baggy. So, he's digging in my pockets and stuff. And he found the $5 bag of weed. I guess he thought I had money because I had a nice Beamer back then. But I was a young kid. I didn't have any money. I was still wet behind the ear at that point. I was broke, But he judged me because I had on some nice Versace glasses, and he took my $5 bag of weed and he jumped out the car. He took my $5 bag of weed and my glasses and jumped out the car. And, I had my phone and my wallet still. And then I called my older brother, because my older brother was living with my sister at the time. And I'm like, "Yo, I just got robbed by this dude, the dude that was at such and such house." And, so my brother like, "What?" And my brother like, "Yo," he go to his house. He like, "Dog, who this dude claiming to be your cousin? And he robbed my brother." And he was like, "Why would your brother give him a ride, man? He don't even know him. Your brother Green." And he like, "Green? Like, bro, we know you. You live next door to our sister. You didn't say this is your cousin. This is your cousin just chilling here." So, there's a certain level of respect. I mean, he didn't come to me and say, "Yo, just go. That ain't my, don't give my cousin a ride." You know what I mean? And it was crazy, man. Eventually, that dude who robbed me lived in that same area. And I think my brother, he came to me one time, and he was like, man, he got into a fight with the dude one day. I don't know how it happened or anything. It was like a few months later, and my bro was like, he wasn't even really going to say nothing to me. Because my brother, man, he got into a lot of fights in that neighborhood, and he never mentioned it. He got into a fight with this one dude. I mean, and they became friends. It was crazy, man. He got into a. I mean, he was like, "Oh, I hear about him fighting people and stuff," and then it was nuts. My brother would fight people and wouldn't even say nothing. I think he'd just get bent, be drunk, and he'd take out his frustration because he was stressed at that time. So he seen the dude and jumped out and fought the dude, and that's what he told me. He said, "Yeah, I seen the dude, man, and I beat his ass, man." And I know it's true because in that same neighborhood during the same time period, there was this guy another neighbor that was kind of like, him and my brother were kind of having this hierarchy thing where they were like, because everybody on the block kicked it. We, smoked together, everything. So, when you have people around, a hierarchy establishes, and sometimes certain people try to be dominant to others. So this guy was trying my brother. So my brother fought him, They got into a situation when nobody was around. It was just them two. They boxed it out. And after that, they became friends. And the dude told me one day, he said, "I really respect your brother, man. Me and him, we got into a fight the other day." And I'm like, "I didn't even know, how come y'all ain't say nothing?" He was like, "I don't know. We kind of buried the hatchet after that." And I said, "That's what's up, But man, it was crazy, man. I got robbed for a $5 bag of weed and some Versace's. And after that, man, I kind of learned my lesson. Don't ever let strangers in your car. So if you're young, don't get played like I got played. You know what I mean? Because it could have went left, Peace.